Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ice-Burgh Recap, your home for Pittsburgh Penguins game recaps and analysis. You can find us on YouTube at Inside the Penguins or anywhere you get your podcasts from. Pittsburgh Penguins 10, San Jose Sharks 2. That tells a story better than anything else that I could say, honestly. 10-2, and it looked like it on Saturday night at the Shark Tank. The San Jose Sharks, let's be honest here, are an unserious team this year. They are not trying to win anything but the NHL draft lottery this season, and they showed it. They're the first team since 1965 after last night, and that was the Boston Bruins back in 65, to allow 10-plus goals in back-to-back games. Obviously, they lost on Thursday night by a score of 10-1 to the Vancouver Canucks, and then last night 10-2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just to see what the actual effect of playing this particular team has on other teams in the NHL this season. Last night, the Penguins jumped from 22nd in the NHL in goals per game all the way up to 8th. Now, again, that's the 10th game of the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So a game like this will easily change that average, but an absolutely, horrendous team, to be completely honest, are the San Jose Sharks. There's a couple good players on that team. I'm assuming they're going to get sold off at some point this season. Guys like Anthony Duclair, maybe a guy like Tomas Hertl. I don't know who's going to be on that team at the end of the season, but certainly not a team that's going to contend for anything seriously in the NHL this season. Let's get into the game recap and the goal recap here between the Penguins and the Sharks, and it was a busy one. The first time this year that I've had to use two different pages for the goal recap. Started early for the Pittsburgh Penguins, just about 90 seconds in. Riley Smith scores on the power play, his 5th goal of the season. Erik Karlsson, in his return to San Jose, scores his first of what would be 2 assists on the night. And Jake Guentzel adds in his 8th assist of the season, and that's a power play goal for the Penguins. Smith put the Penguins up 2-0 a little bit later in the first period, and this one still looked to be like an actual game in the NHL when it was only 2-0 after 1. Smith scored his 6th of the season. Assists go to Pettersson and Brian Rust. Second period is where it got out of hand for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They go up 3-0 on Jake Guentzel's 3rd goal of the season, a beautiful cross-ice feed from Brian Rust for Guentzel's 200th career goal. He becomes the fastest player from the 2013 NHL draft to reach 200 goals. That's faster than a guy like Nathan McKinnon. That's faster than anybody else in that 2013 draft class. So congratulations to Jake Guentzel, a great milestone and a great number for him, getting to number 200 on his career. Then Vinny Hinostroza, in his Penguins debut this game, scored his first goal, shooting off a bad angle, bouncing it off of the Sharks goaltender and making it 4-0 in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Anthony Duclair did open up the scoring for the San Jose Sharks. He got them back in the game a little bit at that point with a power play goal, his 2nd goal of the season. Assists go to Tomas Hertl and Jacob McDonald, who ended up playing a decent factor in this game for the San Jose Sharks. That made it 4-1 on the power play. And then the Penguins, once again, just pulled away late in the second period of this one. Evgeny Malkin gets his 6th of the season to make it 5-1. Smith and Rickard Rakell get the assist on that one. Chris Letang scores his 1st goal of the season on a beautiful breakout between him and Sidney Crosby. Crosby playing in his 1,200th career game, as we talked about in the lead up to this one. He picks up an assist, his 6th of the season, and Brian Rust tallies another one there. Matt Nieto, we talk about the 4th line. We saw them get a little bit more into the scoring in this one. Matt Nieto scores his 1st goal as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins against his former team. Noel Acciari picks up the assist on the 2-on-1 as he bounced it off the Sharks goaltender's pads straight to Nieto, and Vinny Hinostroza picks up the secondary on this one as he set things in motion in the Penguins defensive zone. And after 2 periods, it was 7-1. And at this point, if you went to bed, I would not have blamed you. It was late. The Penguins were up 7-1, and it did not look like there was any chance that the San Jose Sharks were going to come back in this one. And in the 3rd period, it was more of the same. Brian Rust makes it 8-1, scoring his 6th goal of the season. Assists go to Guentzel and Erik Karlsson. Duclair, McDonald, and Hertl all combine again for a San Jose Sharks goal. Their 2nd of the game, making it 8-2 on the power play. Jacob McDonald scores his 1st goal of the season. Hertl gets his 6th assist, and Duclair picks up his 1st apple on the season. Evgeny Malkin scores his 7th goal of the season to make it 9-2. Riley Smith and Rickard Rakell pick up the assist on that one. And then Jake Guentzel closes the scoring out, making it 10-2. Guentzel scores his 4th goal of the season and his 4th point of the night. And the Penguins, like I mentioned, take it 10-2 in this one. It was not close from the beginning. I don't know what the San Jose, I do know what the San Jose Sharks are doing. When a guy like Mike Greer, the general manager of the Sharks, makes that trade involving Erik Karlsson and takes back a guy like Mikael Granlund from the Pittsburgh Penguins, $5 million for 2 more seasons without forcing the Penguins to retain it all, you know what's up when that happens. And the Penguins obviously get Erik Karlsson in the deal. The Sharks get Mikael Granlund, which is going to help them get Macklin Celebrini, or at least hopefully for them, get Macklin Celebrini, who is the projected #1 overall pick in the 2024 draft. Something tells me that the NHL might frown upon how badly and how obviously the San Jose Sharks are tanking. And, if it's rigged, we don't know if it's rigged. It might not be rigged, but the draft lottery might not turn the way that the San Jose Sharks are hoping if they continue to be this embarrassing for the remainder of the season. But let's get to our 3 stars of the game in this one. Third star, I'm going to give it to Vinny Hinostroza, making his Pittsburgh Penguins debut. He notches 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist, replaced Jeff Carter in the Pittsburgh Penguins lineup, and brought some life to that fourth line, brought some scoring life to that fourth line as they notched 2 of the 10 goals for the Pittsburgh Penguins in this one. Not only does Hinostroza get on the board for the first time as a Penguin, he helps Jeff Carter, Noel Acciari get on the board for the first time as a member of the Penguins, and Matt Nieto get on the board as well. Now, again, I'm going to reserve judgment on Hinostroza and the fourth line until they play an actual team. I'm not trying to bash the Sharks too much, but we've seen what they've looked like over the past week, and they're 0-10-1 to start the season. So I'm going to reserve judgment on saying, hey, Hinostroza has fixed that fourth line until we see him play the Anaheim Ducks on Tuesday, until we see him play the LA Kings on Thursday, until we see him play the Eastern Conference contenders that are going to be coming to town once the Penguins get back to the East Coast. So hopefully he continues to get the opportunity. There's no reason that he shouldn't after a game where he scores 1 goal and 1 assist in his Penguins debut. So a good game for Vinny Hinostroza, a good sign going forward for the fourth line that they might have something cooking with Vinny Hinostroza, Noel Acciari, and Matt Nieto. Second star of this game, I'm going to go with Riley Smith, making easy work of the Sharks from early on. The Penguins did look a little out of sorts to start this game. It looked like they certainly had a little bit of rust after a 4-day break, but Riley Smith made sure that the Pittsburgh Penguins were still in firm control of the game despite not playing their best in the opening 20 minutes. He scored 2 goals in the first period of play, including, like I mentioned, that one 90 seconds in, a beautiful wrist shot that just absolutely blew past a guy in Mackenzie Blackwood that is wishing that he could recapture some of that steam that he had coming out when he initially debuted with the New Jersey Devils. But Riley Smith, 4-point game, 2 goals, 2 assists. He and Malkin are battling it out for the Penguins' goal-scoring lead that changed hands a couple times last night, and I'm sure it'll change hands a couple times as this season progresses. And the first star of this one, hard to go away from a guy when he scores 5 points in a single game, and that's Bryan Rust. Talk about capitalizing on the opportunity to play a team that is unserious. Bryan Rust has 1 goal and 4 assists in this one. Coming into this game, everybody was talking about, okay, Bryan Rust getting the goal scoring going, getting really good opportunities, making sure he's putting away his opportunities this season, and it's great to see. It's good to see him bounce back in this way in the second year of a 6-year deal after struggling in the opening year of it. But a 5-point game in this one, the assists kind of bring everything up to a T and get him a little bit more evened out on the goal assist marker there, as he has now 6 goals on the season, 5 assists for 11 points, in the first 10 games of the season. Bryan Rust looking really good out here in 2023-24. So it's Hinostroza, Smith, and Bryan Rust. Those are your 3 stars of the game. Let's go to our final thoughts on this one. Again, hard to take very much of anything away from this game because the San Jose Sharks are a team that are exactly what you saw last night. They're a team that is not going to try to win very many games, and they might lose the most games in NHL history this season. They have yet to get a win 11 games into the season, 0-10-1, 1 singular standings point. It's not looking good. I mean, I get that throughout an 82-game season, there's going to be ebbs and flows, and eventually they're going to get a couple wins. They're going to pick up a couple. But right now, they're on pace to have, 8, 9, 10 standings points on the season, which is far and away the worst marks ever from an NHL franchise. So they're trying. I mean, like I said on Friday's episode, they're putting a capital T in tanking this season at the Shark Tank out in San Jose. But the one thing I will say, final thought on this one, Jake Guentzel is setting himself up for an absolutely massive contract extension, either at the end of the season or what I would assume should happen. The Penguins should probably sign him during the season so he doesn't continue to build, continue to have a better season, and continue to put more impressive numbers, more impressive film on tape, and be able to ask for more when the season comes to an end. Jake Guentzel, we always knew he could score goals. Like we mentioned, scoring his 200th goal in this one, was the fastest player in the 2013 draft class to get to 200 goals as far as games played are concerned. And he's led the Penguins in goal scoring in the past 2 seasons, a 2-time 40-goal scorer. This guy can put the puck in the back of the net. But what he's showing this season, especially coming into the year when you thought that he was going to miss the first 5-6 games coming off of off-season ankle surgery, he's showing a more complete game. He's showing the playmaking side of his game. Now, it's not like he hasn't been a playmaker in the past. We all remember the season that he unfortunately got injured. What he was doing in that year with Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby was injured. But Guentzel had, 21 goals, 21 assists in that season before he went down with his shoulder injury. We've seen it before from Jake Guentzel, but he's making it a point this season to tally more and more assists. He leads the Pittsburgh Penguins with 9 assists on the season, and that's just going to go right into contract negotiations with Kyle Dubas and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins need Jake Guentzel. They need that second-tier superstar right underneath Crosby and Malkin in the top 6, and Jake Guentzel is that guy for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Right now, he's making $6 million per season, which looks like a sweetheart deal for a guy that could score 40 goals, a guy that could potentially be a point-per-game player this season if he's able to stay healthy. And historically, throughout his career, he's been rather healthy, right? He had that shoulder injury, which we saw what happened. It's going to be hard for anybody to stay healthy when they crash into the boards like that. And then he did have that ankle injury, but he didn't miss a single game. He's been a pretty solid contributor throughout his entire career, from the first game that he played against the New York Rangers, scoring 2 goals, through his first career playoff stint, which was historically great for a rookie, throughout the entirety of his tenure from then until now with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's been a great contributor, and I'm not going to say that I know what he's going to ask for, but I would definitely see him looking for something around the $8 million range. I would not be surprised if he was the second highest paid forward after Sidney Crosby after this season. I don't think that he gets paid higher than that 8.7, especially because of where he's at in his career life cycle. I believe he's 28 years old or 29 years old, somewhere along that line, getting towards the back half of his prime. He's going to want to cash out. I do think that around the $8 million range is where this conversation is probably going to start. But I could see him signing something similar to what we saw Jason Robertson sign back when he signed his extension before last season, and he went off and scored 100 points the year after that. Now, Robertson is younger than Jake Guentzel, but he still signed a 4-year, $7.75 million contract. Something about that sounds right to me when thinking about what Jake Guentzel's next contract is going to look like, but we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, he's only going to make more money if he continues to perform the way he's performing. 4 points in San Jose, and he continues to rack up assists as he has now 4 goals and 9 assists on the season, 13 points in the team's first 10 games. He's tied for the team lead with Evgeny Malkin. Up next for the Pittsburgh Penguins, head south to Anaheim. They need to get some revenge on the Anaheim Ducks for what the Ducks did at PPG Paints Arena last Monday night. Able to steal that game with 10 seconds left. Mason McTavish scores shorthanded. Penguins are going to be looking for a little bit of revenge in this one. We'll see if they're able to get it and extend their win streak to 2 games. But as Erik Karlsson said, we're looking to win the next one. We're looking for a 1-game win streak, then a 1-game win streak, then a 1-game win streak. Hopefully, they continue to stack wins and make it a 2, 3, 4-game win streak as they look to climb out of the hole that they put themselves in October. But hey, as of now, for November, they're 1-0. They're starting on the right foot. It certainly helped that they played a team in the San Jose Sharks that are very, as I mentioned at the top of the show, unserious. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And remember, you can find us on YouTube at Inside the Penguins or anywhere you get your podcasts from. We'll see you guys next time.